isn't this the absolute cutest tissue box holder? And it's so easy to make. I'm going to show you how. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, friends. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly appreciate it. And thank you so much for all of your wonderful support. Because of you, my channel now has 225,000 subscribers. Cannot believe it, but thank you so much. Today's craft is going to be oh so practical, and we're going to take something very simple and dress it up and create this beautiful seasonal pumpkin tissue holder. Now, I hope that you're getting the pumpkin vibes when you look at this, because I certainly think it looks like a nice little dressed up pumpkin, and it is super easy to make. And it's going to start with a box of tissue. And you know what else? This is refillable. So when we use all of the tissues in this box, we can just take it out and we can pop in a fresh box. Easy peasy. I'm going to flip to my overhead camera to give you a closer look at this, but y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, so here is an overhead shot of this beautiful pumpkin tissue box holder. Y'all, this one is truly going to stay with me. I'll make another one and I'll probably give that to one of my sisters, but this one I'm keeping for me, and I will be using it throughout the autumn season. But it's very easy to make, and I made sure to design it so that we could replace the tissue boxes as we use up all of the tissues. And then I have it sitting on a little chipboard base. This is the only chipboard that you're going to need for this project. So here's what we need to make it. I am using one of the Dollar Tree everyday tissues. Now my tissue box is approximately 4 3/8 by 4 3/8 by 5 1/4. So these are the measurements that I'm using for this particular box. You'll need to double check your tissue box to make sure that your measurements aren't different from these. And if they are, you might have to tweak yours by 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, but it'll all depend on the box size that you're using. And right now I'm only making one for this size, so I'm not dealing with the long boxes yet. I'm dealing with this size box. And so here's what we're going to need to make it. I have decided that I want this paper to be the outside pattern on the box that I'm making today, where I have this beautiful orange polka dot. I am going to use this paisley print because I think it falls within those autumn colors that I like to use. So I have one sheet of 12 by 12, and this is from the Paper Studio. So if you're looking for this paper, it is item number 112094 from the Paper Studio. Now this is 69 cents when it's not on sale. When it's on sale, it's 40% off. So you get this really inexpensively. And then I have 5 sheets of medium weight cardstock. And then I have 2 sheets of those double-sided adhesive sheets that I like to use. When I want to cover a large piece and I don't want to use my sticker maker, I use these large double-sided adhesive sheets. They're A4 size, and this pack had 50 sheets in it, and I have been using this for a few years now, so I will try to have it linked in the description box below. I really do like using this on a project like this, and I'll show you why as we get into the project. So y'all, I've repositioned my cameras just a little bit here in my studio, and I haven't quite gotten it right, so I had to move my picture-in-picture over to the left side of the screen. I will make a change to that probably in a day or two and move it back to where it was. But for the purposes of this video, in order to be able to see what I'm doing, I actually had to move it. So we're going to start with 2 pieces of our 12 by 12 because we need to make the base. So we're going to take our 2 pieces, and the first thing we need to do is we need to cut them at 9 1/2. So I've removed a portion, so we're cutting it. We've trimmed it to 9 1/2 by 12. And then we're going to take these 2 and we're going to trim them at 7. So we're going to have 2 pieces that are 7 by 9.5, and this will be for that base. So now we're going to take these two, and on the 9.5 inch side, we're going to score at 4.5 and at 9. Then we turn it to the 7 inch side. We're going to score at 3 and at 6. So again, on the 9 inch side, we score at 4.5 and at 9. Turn it to the 7 inch side and score at 3 and at 6. So then we're going to fold and burnish these scores. All right, so once you have these two folded and burnished, you're going to remove the 2 corner pieces from this narrow flap. That is your adhesive flap. And we'll do the same thing with this one. So we remove the 2 corner pieces, and you can actually remove these by cutting in at a slight angle here and cut here. Cut here and here. Same thing with this one. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to be joining them together on this adhesive flap right here. So we'll be gluing these 2 together, but before we do, everywhere that we have a score mark now, we just need to do an angle cut, top and bottom. I'm going to angle here just a little bit as well. All right, so now that we have our pieces like this, I am going to take some glue and just put glue on one piece. So when you put it together, make sure that whether they are both facing this direction or facing this direction. This is really the only way that you can make them fit to put the box together. So you'll know pretty quickly you need to work on that orientation placement. So I am just going to take this piece and join it to this piece. Then I'll flip over because I want to make sure that I have everything nice and straight. Then I'll take it and basically fold it over onto itself, and let's get that nice and stuck. So then I'm just going to take my glue, and y'all, here is the adhesive flap on the first 3 flaps. From the adhesive flap, I am going to add the glue and fold over. And this is going to give us our nice little base. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it here like this to close it, and then we can fold this over so that it will go over the top of that seam. So I am going to take my glue, put it there, and then I'll join these 2 together like this, just making sure that my score marks here match as they go around there. And then let's just get this nice and stuck. I'll go in and work that stick. Then I can open this. We can place our glue here, and now we can fold over. Like this. So you can see that we have a nice little flat fold. So now we just need to put it together. My adhesive flap is right here, so I'm going to take these 2 and fold over. And I'll add just a little bit of glue here. I don't need a whole lot. Then I'll fold over here, and then I'll take my glue Add some glue. Take some glue. Put it here. And I'll fold over and fold over. And to make sure that I have this nice and squared, I am going to bring in my tissue box. Put my tissue box in to help make sure that this is square. And now I'll get this nice and stuck. All right, so now that we have the bottom box made, let's go ahead and make the cover. So I am going to bring in 2 more pieces of my 12 by 12 pumpkin colored cardstock. And I am going to trim both pieces to 9 3/4 by 12. So on the 9 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 4 5/8 and 9 1/4. So on the 9 3/4 inch side, score at 4 5/8 and 9 1/4. Then we're going to turn it to the 12 inch side. We're going to score at 2 1/4 and at 7 3/8. So that's 2 1/4 and 7 3/8. So now let's fold and burnish all of our scores. All right, and just like before, the narrow flap is your adhesive flap, and we are going to get rid of this corner piece and this corner piece from both pieces. So we'll have 2 rectangular corner pieces. We need to get rid of those. So I am just going to cut like this and remove this piece and remove this piece from both pieces. And we'll be putting this together just like we did that first one. You can see that I have my 2 adhesive flaps. We will eventually join these, but I'm going to go ahead on this end here where we have the smaller fold over flaps, and I'm just going to angle on both sides of my score mark like this. Then I'll take my glue and I'm going to put my glue on one of the panels. Take my finger and just spread that glue. And then I'm going to take this one and join it to this one. Then I'll flip it over to make sure that I have my score mark straight going across. Let's get that stuck. Then I'll take this and flat fold it to really work my stick. And then I'll open it, and just like before, here's that adhesive flap that's remaining. I'm going to place my glue on these first 3 panels. So I'm going to take some glue, add some glue, and then I can fold over and we can get these first 3 panels stuck like this. So now I'll turn it this way, and I'm just going to cut straight down here on all of these score marks. Just cut straight down. And basically what I've done is I have freed these tabs. Now I need to figure out the placement for the whole opening. So I am just going to put this together, but not put it together with adhesive. And I know that the back is here, so I am going to have these 2 be the top. And what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to use this opening piece as my guide for how I want to place this. Now, when you're doing yours, just make sure that if you use this panel, you skip this one and use this panel. If you use this panel, you skip this one and use this panel. So you're using every other panel so that you can have a fold over and have those two meet. So nothing about what I'm going to be doing is going to be perfect at all. But I am just making a little mark right there. And then I'm going to use my finger blade just to go in and follow that mark as best I can. And this should give me a nice, decent opening. But we're doing handcrafted here, y'all, so this is not going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. We're just going to do the best that we can, which is pretty much all we can do when we're handcrafting. We are not going to be going for perfection. So there is that one opening. Some of you might have die cutters. You can use that if you want. So then I'm going to take this one and basically place it. Again, y'all, this is not going to be perfect, but it's going to give us that opening that we need so that we'll be able to get to those tissues and pull them out. So let's cut this one out. And basically all I'm doing is following the mark that I made. Like I said, the overlap won't be perfect of these two, but I'm going to be pleased with however it comes out. So now I can do another little test fit to see how this is going to work for me. Fold over, and then fold over, and fold over. And I think that that's a pretty good hole there. So now what I have to do is I need to fold these over because we have to reduce this so that it's not going to be showing in that opening. And it's going to be very simple. I am just going to cut across like this, and I'm going to leave about 3/8 of an inch for my adhesive flap there. And we'll do the same thing on this side. So your piece is going to look like this when you have everything cut out and ready to put together. But before I put it together, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and just add some ink to the exposed corners and score marks. I'm just going to go all the way around and just add some ink because I want to give this more of an aged look. Almost like you went out to the pumpkin patch and picked a pumpkin. So I'm just going across and I am adding my ink wherever I think it's needed. Alrighty, friends, we have this piece all inked and we are going to go ahead and put it together. So I am going to take my glue and put my glue on this adhesive tab here. Smush that glue around just a little bit. Then I'll take this piece and we'll join it. I just want to make sure that I have it nice and even so that my box fits over the other box, the bottom box. So let's just go ahead and work that stick. All right, so let's take this flap here that remains And let's add some glue to it. And we just fold it in right here. And let's just get that nice and stuck. I'm going to bring in that base because this will help me make sure that I have my placement right. So we'll be using the side pieces here as the initial adhesive flap, and you just decide which one you want on the top because it's going to go on like this. So I'm going to take my glue, put some glue right here, and some glue right here. Feed that through, and then fold that over. And then I'll use my bone folder to make sure that I have a nice good stick on this. And then we'll take this piece and we'll fold it over like that. So I am going to add my glue to this piece all the way around. Just making sure that I'm not getting any glue on the box because, of course, we want to be able to take the box out. So I'm just going to tuck that in and fold over. Now I'm going to lift off because I don't want to get any glue touching the actual box itself. So now we know we have a fit. So now we can take this. And y'all, I think that that is pretty nice. So we have our bottom done. We have our removable top. Let's go ahead and make the decorative pieces for the outside. So I took that 12 by 12 decorative piece and I cut it in half. So I have two pieces that are 6 by 12. Then I have my adhesive sheets. They're double-sided. So I am just going to peel away the back. And I'm going to take one of these and just put it down like this. I don't have to be perfect on this. Then I'm going to take this one and put it down on here like this. Then I'm just going to trim away that excess sticky. And I can take it and we can put it back on our sheet because we can use it on another project. So I'll do the same thing here. Now you can choose to do this however you like. This is just the way that I'm doing this demo, but you can certainly choose to do it however you like. All right, so now we need to bring in that second piece of 12 by 12, and we're going to cut out two pieces that are 6 by 12. And I'm going to peel off my double stick backer. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to match it to this piece. And nothing about this is going to be perfect, but we do have a cute little double-sided piece that we'll be working with. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Going to peel away that backer. Bring in that second piece of 6 by 12. And we're going to take it and place it on top of this piece. So we have our 2 pieces. Y'all, I don't know why I made 2 of these. We only need 1 because you're going to need 12 1 by 6 strips. So what I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to make a score mark on this so that I'll have a way of putting it on the box. I'm going to score this at 3/8 of an inch. Then I'm going to rotate to the opposite 6-inch side and score at 3/8 of an inch. Then I'm going to cut out 12 1-inch strips. So you will need 12 1-inch strips. All right, so once you have your 12 1-inch strips, you're simply going to do a little curl with your bone folder or along the edge of your desk. You just want to add a little curl to this. It doesn't have to be a very intense curl. And then if you want, and I think I am just going to go along each one of these and ink it up just a little bit. So I will do these off camera, and y'all, I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I have all of my pieces inked, and I tried to match my patterns just to give it a more cohesive look. This is just me being me. You definitely don't have to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my middle one, and where we made those scores, I can make a fold mark, and I'll be putting that on like that, and then I'll bend it upwards like this. So I'm going to take my glue. You can use hot glue for this if you want. I like using wet glue because it gives me a chance to move everything around a little bit if I want to. So I'm just going to take this and put it right there at the top. And then I'll take my next piece, add some glue to it, and then I'll place it on the edge. You could actually make these wider if you want. This time I'm going with 1-inch strips. On the other one, I went with 1 1/4. So it really is up to you. Then I'm going to take this one, and it matches this way. So I am going to bend these and go ahead and add my glue. I like to place all of my tops on first, meaning I put all of my glued pieces that are glued at the top on first, and then I'll go back and I'll do the bottom. So now I can flip this over. We can start on this side. So I'll take my glue, put my piece right here. So I will do this side with you, and then I'll do the other 2 sides off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll work on the bottom. So I'm putting these in the corner, and then I put one in the middle. So because I was following a pattern, I am trying to place it down to keep following that pattern. But like I said, you definitely don't have to do that. You can place these down however you like. All right, so I have these 2 sides done. I'm going to go ahead and do my other 2 sides, and y'all, I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I have all of my pieces on, and I'm just going to turn it upside down because I am going to take these And we take this little folded piece here and just match it with the end. Make sure everything is nice and flush, and that is going to give you that natural bend. So that's all we do, y'all. We add that glue, and then we match this end with the edge of the box. And we just keep doing that all the way around. So you can see how when we do that, we get that natural bend. And that's what you want. So I'm going to do another section with you, and then I'll do the other two off camera because the process is truly the same. So I'm just putting my glue on all three. I'll take this one, match it with that end. We can take this one, match it with this end, and take this one and match it with this end. And now you can see how that is starting to take shape. I absolutely love how this is turning out. Then I'm just going to go back and press down. And now I'll take this and put it back on the box, and you can see how this is just absolutely autumn fantastic. So I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of chipboard, and I am going to cut a piece that is 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. And then I have some scrap from a previous project that I actually measured wrong. So I am just going to use this, smush that around, get this nice and stuck. And then I'll cut out my piece. So now I'm just going to take this, stand it up, fold it over on all four sides, and then I'm going to miter, miter, and miter. And now I can take my glue, place my glue on these 4 panels, and fold them over and stick them down. So let's fold over like this. Let's work that preliminary stick on these 2 pieces. Then I'll take this piece, fold it over, and start working the stick on it. Then I'll take this and just tap the corners into my desk to get rid of any pointies. Then I'm just going to go along this with my ink pad and just add a little bit of ink to this piece. Now I'm going to remove this and remove this because I want to take this and flip it over to this side and put that on as the liner. So I am just going to add some glue, making sure that I have my glue on those edges. And now I can take this and I'm going to put it down, and when I put it down, I'm trying to make sure that that overhang is even on all four sides, and that's why glue is my preferred choice on a project like this, because it gives me the wiggle room that I need in case my placement isn't quite right. All right, so now we have that platform base. My glue is going to dry clear. I can take this, put it in, take this, put it on, feed that through, and y'all, how absolutely elegant is this? So the last thing that I want to do is I am going to take some twine, and how much twine you choose to use is completely up to you, but I am just grabbing a whole bunch of twine. Then I'm going to take it and just double wrap it. So I am making one big piece like this. And then I'm going to take it, and I have this end that's open like this. And I'm just going to feed this through. Like this. Pull it nice and tight. And then I'll just start wrapping it around until I have a look that I personally like. You know, we're all different, so what I'm doing here might not be your preferred look, or you might like even more twine on here, but I am going to just add some twine to this, going all the way around. I'm not even putting any glue on at this point. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue right there, and I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to take this piece and pull it really tight in that hot glue. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my twine and make a tiny twine bow. And all I'm going to do is take the twine, wrap it around 4 of my fingers loosely, and then I'll pull it off like this. Take a little bit of scrap twine, and I'm going to tie it off into a knot. I'll slide it over, and I will double knot it. Because now I can take this and we can put it right there. So I am just going to take my glue, put some hot glue right there, take this piece, my twine bow, and place it in the hot glue. Then I'm going to take this little piece of ephemera, add some hot glue to the back, and create a little loop for that ephemera without punching a hole in it, because I didn't want to punch a hole because the hole might have interfered with the saying. So now I'll take this and I'll glue it, and we're going to put it on right there. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue here in the middle. Take my sweet little saying and put it right there in that glue. Trim off this excess from my little saying I put on, and I'm going to take my button and put my button right there. So let's add some glue to the back. I'll take this and I'm just going to pop it right there. Y'all, this is so stinking cute. I absolutely love it. All right, y'all, so here we have our second pumpkin tissue holder. I think that this is absolutely adorable. And I think if you make one of these to give to someone, they can't help but to love it. Y'all, it's a one of a kind. It's unique. You're not going to see someone else with something like this. And it is refillable. So if you wanted to put this on your desk at work, or if you wanted to put this in your bathroom, or you might want to do like I'm going to do and leave one of these in your crafty space. And that's exactly what I am going to do. But don't you think that these are just fabulous? Absolutely fabulous and so easy to make. So I hope that you've enjoyed this really fun autumn video on how to make pumpkin tissue box holders. And remember, this is refillable. So if you have enjoyed this video, and I certainly hope that you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, all day, every day, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. So I would love to have you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you will know when I upload another fabulous video. As always, my beautiful handcrafty friends, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.